Alrighty. We're here at the table of creation, that's what we're gonna call it. I'm gonna go over once again what you're gonna need to do the style that I do. First, a pencil. And I would keep the tip flat kinda, not like too sharp, because otherwise it will kinda like scrape the paper. And I'll show you later why we don't want it. Then you need a pen, and the pen has to be with a tip like this. I'll show you like this. You probably like, I don't know, put it like this. I have this, and these come in several types. It's 0.3, right? And I have another one that's 0.1. I now mostly use the 0.1 one, but I used to use the 0.3 as well. The 0.3 is good for like edges now that I use it for. But yeah, I'm gonna show you with the 0.1 one, and with that I'm gonna tell you as well why in a second. And the final thing is a eraser. What you do with this is you first draw with the pencil, and then you erase it, and then you like trace it with a pen. Okay, now how large of an area I suggest to use. Now, and do not make the artwork too large. I would keep it like this. I think this is like, and what I usually do is I like envision a square around it. I'll draw it here just so it's clear, like a square. And like I try to keep my stuff in here, and if something extends out, it's like more emphasis on it or whatever. So why I like to keep it small is because if you have a large piece, then you have a lot of white space. And what you have then is that you try to fill that white space with some stuff. But I think what makes an artwork really good is that if you have like limited space, every line counts way more, it holds way more weight, and like with every line you define the artwork so much that the line could change the artwork completely, right? On a bigger piece you can do a lot of small things, and like in a way it seems more like primitive, but I don't know, it's just me I guess, but it seems more aesthetic and appealing to me. So to start out, if you looked up petroglyphs, right, you can like start sketching like petroglyph ships, for example. So now you have it done with the pencil. So what I do is like I kind of slightly erase it, so I see only very little of it. And now what I do is I take my pen, let's take the 0.1, and now I trace this artwork. Just go like the line I had here before with the pen, and go like this. So I have my ship here. Now let's make it a bit more cooler. Add some stuff here like dots. What you can do is add some dots here, because I've seen on one petroglyph it was like that. And you can try different stuff out, like do the ships. And one thing that you can do is like just trace it once more. So what happens, it leaves like these thicker and thinner areas, and then you can like fine tune it. And what this does is like it makes it I don't know, more unique in a way, or like more, it has more what would you say, personality to it. And then trace this as well. Now what I would do with the ship is I would take a picture of it. And how you do the artwork kind of like I do, as I have a black background and I have a white image on it, is you erase the pencil part completely now. And now with your phone, focus on here, take a picture of it. But before you take a picture, what you do is play with the brightness so your whites are really white. And then on the computer you will need a program for this, but invert it. And that's pretty much how I do my stuff. Of course I have the dust overlay on it, or the grunge overlay or whatever, and how I did that I'm gonna show in a second as well. Okay, so at the computer now, I'm gonna show you what I do in here. So what I have ready is I use Photoshop. I have here two pictures that I've done. So the first one is like a darker one. This is just a regular photo I took. I didn't play with the lights or anything, and here I made it more bright. You can see kinda how a dimmer photo leaves out some of the details. So I'll show you with this one. It's pretty easy. I'm gonna rasterize this. So what this does, I just basically did the photos, downloaded them to my computer and pulled them here. And if you have like an iPhone and you don't want to like connect it to the computer, what you can do is like you can message yourself on Facebook, so send them those photos as messages to yourself and then download them. That's what I do. And I pull them here and then they become like this weird type where you can't really edit all. So right click and rasterize layer or whatever it was, you know. So anyway, it's here. If the brightness is already correct, what you can do is hold down Control and press I, and now it inverts the colors. And it's like blue right now. And now if you press Ctrl Alt and I think it's B. No, it was Ctrl+Shift+Alt+b. So yeah, and this Ctrl+Shift+Alt+b, what it does, it makes it black and white. So you see it's kind of already there, you know. So this is one way to do it if you put the brightness right. But how I mostly do it is, let's take this one for example. Now I take these pictures, I don't play with the brightness. So I come up here, Image, Adjustment, and I like to use Exposure. And what I do here is I pull up the exposure, so this like ups the whites. So until everything is white. Now the gamma correction is the blacks. So here it's kinda okay, but if I pull it a bit more, it gets darker, you know, so it's better. And now what I do is I select from here my brush, right click brush, and I set the size a bit larger and larger. And if you press X, you can shift between the black and white color here. So pressing X does this. So I take my white and I kind of remove the areas where there's some like yellowish stuff. So I usually go like this. So now, and if we were to invert this one, it's already a bit better. So, but what I do from here most of the time is I take this. This is the magic wand tool. I take it. I click anywhere on the white, and then I right click and take similar. And now it selects everything that was white. And now I come to select the mask. And what I do here before as well is hold down Control and space and right click and select 100%. So you're like know exactly what it's going to look like. And take select and mask. And here I kind of add some smoothness and some contrast. And now if I can reach it, I have my recording thing over here. Okay, I can't reach it. What if I press enter? It worked. Nice. Okay, so and now we have the selection. So I hide this layer and I have my background layer here, which is white. So I press Control and J. This does a new one for me. Oh, it was inverted, sorry about that. So go back. And now what I do is right click, select inverse. So it only selects the part here, otherwise it was the whites. And now I select my background layer here, which is white. Press Ctrl J. And now I have this shape here. And we can invert the background. So it's like this. And you can move it around with this here. Kind of position it how you want it. And my art is 1080 by 1080. So now I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks here as well. So let's say you have something that is kind of ruggedly drawn. I'll do an example here quickly. Like how I like to draw hair is kind of like this. My mouse is double clicking, that's why I see that. So something like this, right? And what often happens is like it's kind of rugged. So what you can do here is I'll take these two layers just here and merge it. You don't have to know what I'm doing right now. But basically now this, what I do here is you go to filter, you take stylize, and you take oil paint. And this like makes it, how do you call it? I don't know, I guess it's oil paint. You do it like this. Now it smoothens out your weird places. Now what you do from here, because it like leaves them soft, is you come to filter, filter gallery, and this one here, wait, I need to, and this is dependent on these things. So I press X again, so my black is in the foreground. So filter, filter gallery, and you see it kind of like makes it more defined. And the image balance is which determines like how much the whites are going to be out and how much the blacks. So let's say we leave it at this, but now it has a rugged edge. So what we do is we just select it, select all the whites. It's always good to press right click and similar and select the mask. We add a bit of smoothing, some contrast, and press enter. And you can also draw over it like this and press Ctrl+Shift+N. That brings up a new layer, and if we draw it here, we have this here. And I'll draw the background real quick. So now this leaves our hair way smoother. This is one trick that I use as well. And now if you want to have like an overlay, for example something like this, let's see if I can pull it. Let's do it so quickly so I can show you here. Let's merge these together. So what I suggest is you find a concrete wall or whatever and you take a picture of it. So here I'll invert it. Let's say we have the ship picture, right? So we place it in the center. Now we have this picture. So what we can do is we can go lighten. So what it does, it works on the dark areas of your picture. And here you have like a screen, or it should be a little bit brighter, but it's not. So anyway, lighten, and you can like tone it down a bit so it's like this. So the background is a bit more interesting, because if it's completely black, I don't know, it's too bland for me. If it has like this thing, it's better. And now since your whites are completely white, what I do is double this layer, pull it just the top of your ship. Now right click it and create clipping mask. Now it only applies to your ship, and what you do is you have lighten here. Now this background picture, I'll release it for a second, I'll show you. This background picture is currently like this. So what you do is Ctrl+I, so it inverts it. You pull it over your ship, create clipping mask, and now you see it like applies to it as well. If we move it around, we need to like, give me a second, release clipping mask. It doesn't have like very defined blacks, so what I'm gonna do is, I hope this, yeah, this works a bit. So kinda like this. So now if you see we pull it over this, it has this like washed out feel to it, or like this rugged feel to it. And this is pretty much the secret to the stuff I post. What I sometimes do, if they're like kinda like on the same layer, or so to say, it's like very artificial, or so to say. So I come over here, right click, this is my ship, right, blending options, and take outer glow. And on outer glow, make sure your blend mode is normal, your color is black, and your size is, let's say, 7. And you pull up the opacity a bit. And now, is it not working? It should make like a shadow around it, but I'm not sure why it's not doing anything right now. That is very, very weird. Does this somehow... Oh, I think I know what's happening. This is the same blacks. So your background, double click it, make it color overlay, and make it like not as black, but something like this. So this way, yep, my background was too black. So this way you can actually have it. You see it's like has like this blackness around it, so it kind of like puts the artwork in front. And with this, since it's now a bit brighter, you can use the brightness and contrast and just play around with it, so this way you get it how you want it. Let's say like this. So yeah, just find your style. Oh, and if you hold down your Alt key and on the wheel of your mouse you like scroll forward or backwards, you can move around here like so. And I think that's really it. I sometimes adjust some things here as well. Let's say I decide I don't want these anymore. I come here, take the eraser, and just, and with the eraser, if you hold down Alt and click on your right mouse button and you move your mouse downwards, it makes it, it's not that faded edge, but you have like a sharp edge. So I sometimes move something, or like, let's say I want to have this piece here to be more defined. I do stuff like this as well. And I think that's really it. If there's anything else, I will add it.